AMC Nation, Johnwicksnipin, what's going on? Alright, if we can get over the clapbacks, let's move on. I'd like to do a reaction video to my in-person Fidelity call slash whatever the hell you want to call it at this point. But I've watched it a few times, and like there's just certain points that are just like hilarious, and I just wanted to share it with you guys because it's like, and I wrote them down so that I'll just be able to pause, get to that minute in the video, and then get you guys right back in, so you'll see it quick. But just the way this guy was like acting when I was asking him those questions is just hilarious, and I want to just stop it in those moments, go over them with you guys, so you can be like, oh my god, yeah, I could see that. So give me a second. Okay, so I'm gonna bring you up to minute 5:23, where I ask him like, how are you still selling shares? And just listen to the way this first agent responds.
Sure. Like, how are shares still being sold to anybody who wants to buy if there's no real shares? The float has been basically traded many times over and held by the community.
Mr. Peter's share. So I'm making bet. Let me see.
So the guy's like, just give me a second, and then like I guess he does like a brief hold, and maybe he calls somebody and says, "Yo, they're asking about AMC." So now I'm gonna move on to my third transfer. I didn't put anything up from the first guy, just because there wasn't really much going on there. He didn't know shit. He was just like, all right, yeah, let me get you away from me. So I'm on the third transfer, the final transfer, where I tell them like, yo, you're the third person, like in a matter of a minute. Like I just said, what did I ask them? I was like, oh, do you know about dark pool synthetics? They're like, I gotta transfer you. So now this is the third person. This is probably the trained professional for Fidelity's AMC compliance team, maybe they call it. I don't know. But let's move on.
They transferred me. You're now the third person that I have been transferred over to. But let's just try to get some of my questions answered.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I apologize to hear that you've kind of been bounced around the pinball today. Hopefully I'll be the best person to help you out with this. Let's go ahead and get all your questions up front. Fill me in. What's going on?
Okay.
So here's the guy that's real excited to fucking talk to me. He's like, oh yeah, hey, what's going on? Like, how can we help you? Let's get all your questions answered. So, you know, he started off real energetic, like, yeah, I'm gonna take care of this AMC asshole. By the way, I'm wearing my Star Wars Darth Vader shirt. It's kind of funny. It's like team fucking Darth Vader or whatever. But I just did a little ADD moment, but you know, I don't really do that, so excuse me. So now, you know, I basically tell him I'm a crazy AMC investor just because I want to get, like, I want to strike a nerve, you know, like, remember guys, I do this thing for certain reactions, and then some of you guys comment like, and you say like the obvious, like, oh, who doesn't know this or whatever. Don't worry, I'm reeling them in with certain questioning, and then I hit them with certain ones that make them go, So just bear with me in my videos when I start doing these in the future, because, or I'm going to continue to keep doing these going forward. You know, I'm going to find somebody at Robinhood, Webull, Citadel. I'm doing this until the squeeze. So Luke can do the videos telling us it's coming, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming, it's over, it's over, it's over, it's over. And it's tomorrow, and it's the next day, and then whatever. While he's doing that, I'm going to keep asking questions. That's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to, until the squeeze, because guess what? Once we squeeze, I don't need to talk about AMC anymore. So it's bye, guys. Hopefully you'll join me for my poker, you know, like I'm going to transfer it to poker. But until the squeeze happens, Lou, keep telling us it's today. I'm going to keep going around and asking questions for everybody. So I appreciate the subs are flying in. I'm hoping more come in because I'm going to be providing some good like content where you guys can kind of see the reaction of these brokerages, and you know, they're in there. They're all intertwined. Okay. It's really just us and the whole establishment, and they're part of it. So I'm a good, like I said, I just found my niche now in what I'm going to provide for you guys. So again, I really appreciate you guys coming in and, subbing. A lot of you guys, man, I've been getting this a lot. A lot of you guys are on the comments. You're like, oh man, I couldn't stand your content before. And now, dude, like you've really put out some good stuff. I really appreciate it. I'm subbed. Some guys that were like, I'd go back and forth messaging. And you guys, you know who I'm talking about. And I know you're not bots because you're telling me certain spots in the video and stuff like that about what I do or whatever. So, but I'm glad that some of you, I know one for sure, and I'm going to shout you out, D Gordon. So that commenter, him and I would go back and forth, and he was just trashing me and this and that, and I'm like, fucking get off my channel type shit. And then so I dropped these 2 recent videos, and like he's like, oh shit, like I like these, dude, I'm back. So D, thanks, this is what I'll be doing. So let me not waste any more time. I want to keep going and just laughing and reacting to this that video.
So I'm an crazy AMC stockholder. So I'm pretty sure at this point everybody knows who these investors are. So I'm going to ask some questions because I'm trying to get a little clarity with respects to a lot of the information that's put out there, specifically on social media. I am a vlogger and I do have an audience that I like to provide some clearer answers. I am invested in AMC. I do own them through your brokerage. So I guess I kind of want to sort out through some of these, I can't call them rumors because they haven't really been confirmed or denied. So my first question, I guess, would be, is there like a such thing as like a dark pool?
What do you mean by a dark pool? That's not a term I'm very familiar with.
A dark pool is, I guess, apparently somewhere where like big institutions go to trade stocks, specifically in this case AMC, where it doesn't get immediately reported to the market.
Dark pool? What do you mean? What's a dark pool? Give me a fucking break. And then I don't play that part. He goes on to tell me the technical way of calling a dark pool. He's like, oh, you mean a private room where guys do things and don't report it? Yeah, it's called this. Like, stop saying dark pool, you idiots. Like, this is what the official name is. Like idiots, we didn't know that. So I thought that was fucking hilarious. So let me move on. I'm gonna play a part where the guy tells me, he goes, my client's final answer. The client being Fidelity, and I'm like, client? What? Did I get transferred to the attorney? Like, who are you? Your client? So you'll see how like he stands up for Fidelity in the beginning, and then by the end, as I break him down, he's like, oh, I'm not authorized to speak on behalf of Fidelity. I'm like, yeah, okay, you were just basically saying you're Fidelity. So hold on.
Is my final answer.
Gotcha. Okay. So is there
within the tapes, right? So yeah, there are different types of trades that can be played. Is my final answer.
I just had to run that back for you a couple times. So when I started recording it just kind of said final answer. So I ran it back so you can hear the guy say, yeah, this is my client's final answer. I'm like, what the fuck? Are you an attorney? Like, you represent Fidelity? Who am I talking to? Like, this is when, I don't know how I got transferred to you. So I'm going to move on to when I ask about high short interest and how he responds to that.
So is there currently a large short interest regarding AMC? Is it a heavily shorted stock?
When it comes to volumes of securities, that is information that should be publicly available. I would recommend looking into possibly more technically advanced softwares that some brokerages offer. Fidelity has our own proprietary software known as Active Trader Pro. We do provide very detailed information regarding specific stocks that you are interested in researching through that platform. That's not information I currently have. And what is defined as a large volume of shorted shares is somewhat subjective. It's not quite like a ranking of blue chip, large cap, small cap, big cap, all that kind of stuff, based on just volume alone, because there may be options placed against them. There could be different techniques being used that would involve short against the box possibly, different things like that.
Okay, so what the fuck did you just say, bro? Like, I asked you a simple question. You could just say, I can't answer that question, or answer the question. That one was definitely trained. That was a trained response. That was like, hey, listen, they may ask this question. Here's the fucking skit. So, yeah, there was that regarding the short interest. Okay, I get it. You're not supposed to, whatever. So just decline. Like, you know, like, you don't have to, like, just try to be some fucking snot nose. Like, oh, this is where you read up on this, read up on that. Go fuck yourself. All right, let's move on. We're going to go when I ask about synthetic shares.
I've heard a lot that there are a lot of synthetic shares. Is that something that Fidelity can confirm or deny, that there's actually synthetic shares or shares that are kind of created in order to just keep the short position afloat and not let the price point that we all, the public, see not get out of control?
Price control.
Oops. I didn't know you were gonna ask that one right now. That's like page 11 of my script. And I'm sorry about the pause. Right when you asked me about synthetic shares. All right. That one was easy, so I don't really need to talk much about that one. So I'm gonna fucking move on. I'm going on now to I'm gonna go now to minute 11. That's okay. Let me just go there real quick. Hold on. Okay, so what happens here now is the way he responds is like he wants to tell me something. I felt like conspiratorial or something like that. Like he was gonna say, "Oh, synthetics. That sounds like conspiracy theory or some shit." Like he wanted to say something like that, and so like reserved himself. Like, shit, I want to kind of lie and tell them that they're absolutely out of their mind about this, but they're not. So I'm just gonna play it safe and go protocol. So listen to his response here.
Between different businesses, as far as synthetic shares go, that kind of sounds like it's not something that I'm super familiar with.
As far as synthetics go, yeah. All right, that was tough. All right, we're gonna move on. This is where I ask him if he can confirm or deny that there are fake shares, synthetic shares, or what have you. Hold on there. Oh yeah, so he calls the synthetic shares not a class of shares that I've heard of. Like, yeah, they exist, but you're not calling them right. Like, we have a specific name that if you were to fucking press that button, you win, guys. Like, they're called whatever. Let's just say they're called XYZ shares. Yeah, XYZ shares. Oh, ding, ding, ding. Yeah, those synthetic shares, no. XYZ shares, yes. This was fucking hilarious. No wonder you guys love this video. Hold on. So now I'm gonna ask him about transparency, and let's see what he says regarding that.
Shares, I trade, yeah. But as far as synthetic shares, it's not a class of shares.
Fidelity is aware of the SEC rulings recently, correct, for transparency?
If you're looking for information on where Fidelity stands with recent market activity, etc., I would recommend using our website. All Fidelity opinions are published on the website. I'm not authorized to be providing opinions on behalf of Fidelity.
Okay, so that one was he was like prepared for that one. He's like, yeah, we're not talking about that shit with the SEC, my man. Like, that ain't happening. And then all of a sudden he's not. This is the first time now he's not authorized to speak on Fidelity's opinions or whatever. But earlier he's giving his opinion. This is my client's final answer, and then obviously I crack him at the end. If you've watched the video, I crack him, and he finally just breaks down. It's like, am I being recorded? I don't want this recorded. Blah blah. Yeah, motherfucker, because you fucked up many times. So moving on now, we're going to hear about loaning shares. So, we've gone over this. How do they loan your shares out now? Is if you have a margin account. That's if you have a cash account, they can't loan you shares. But if you have a margin account, at some point through small fine print, and you just wanted to buy in you just wanted to use a margin account, you didn't really read that they can loan your shares out. So that's what it is. If you have a margin account, they can loan your shares out.
Let me just think here. So can you please explain to me how a stock is actually loaned out? Like what is Fidelity's guidelines for allowing someone to borrow a share from another?
Yeah, so that would all come down to margin agreements on file, which it looks like you do have margin on file. When you sign a margin agreement with Fidelity, you allow us to commingle shares that you may own in Tithe Cash with other accounts, meaning they go into the Fidelity reserves, at which point if someone would like to sell short a position, it may or may not be coming from someone else's account. Fidelity also does reserve shares within its own reserves that may be borrowed.
So there's the quick explanation regarding having your shares loaned out. I mean, obviously at some point somebody could have started a movement of like, just if you have margin, get out of margin, so that shares couldn't be loaned out, I guess. But whatever, I guess we're gonna hear about all the regulations regarding this whole business anyway, so at this point it's too late for any of that. Next up is going to be your guys' favorite part, when he says he talks to me about ghost shares, and then when I flip it back on his ass and I'm like, oh, so AMC, does that have ghost shares? He's like, well, what's a ghost share? Like, I don't even know what a ghost is. So let's hear that, because that's obvious. That's like the bread and butter of the video. Obviously, you guys love that part, you know, where they're like, oh yeah, ghost shares, blah, 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 on the OTC. Does AMC have ghost shares? What's a ghost share? What's even a fucking ghost? That shit's hilarious. But before that, I want to stop at a part in the video which some guy just fucking looks into the room like, hey, what the fuck's going on in there? Are they talking about AMC? So I'm gonna go to that real quick.
To kind of just protect yourself, Fidelity, and everything like that. But
the fuck is this guy looking
really
at?
Trying to get down to the bottom of some
That's
of
a
this
fucking hedge motherfucker right
I
there.
understand your
Yeah, so he was doing the, oh, what the fuck's in here? Like, literally when I walked in, there was like 3 people in the whole fucking office, and there's like 15 offices. And I was like, is this the boiler room? Because there was like nobody there. There's just 2 women, and they're like, oh, a human being is in here. So, and then there's that guy. So obviously he's walking by. He's like, who the fuck's in here? Like, what's going on in here? Are they talking about AMC? Like, what are you doing? So now we're going to go on to the ghost shares.
In order to have more stocks traded on a public market, they need to be registered. You can't have ghost shares. If you want ghost shares, I'd recommend looking into penny stocks if you want some really risky stuff with no information and very little requirement to be filed on an exchange.
So there he says it. If you want ghost shares, go on to the OTC markets, and there's no rules there. But there's rules here, my friend, and there will not be any ghost shares here, or all these weird words, synthetics and nakeds and cheating. That's not how we call it on this side. So you see it right then and there. He says, he talks about ghost shares. Now we're going to catch his ass when he says, what's a ghost share?
So you wouldn't say then that there's ghost shares or fake shares with respects to AMC?
I don't know what a ghost share is.
I don't know what this ghost share is that you're speaking of, sir. Like, Up next is the Taiwanese basements. Such a professional at Fidelity that you're telling us all the deep dark secrets of the OTC and Taiwanese basements. Is that where our synthetic AMC shares are at? Is he telling me like your shares are in the Taiwanese basement?
You know, dudes in Taiwanese basements registering businesses to trade on an OTC market and then just going completely missing in action. There's some weird stuff that happens on the penny market. As far as a large company like AMC, I don't know. I mean, it would be new to me.
But a large company like AMC, I can't even say no. That doesn't happen here. That was interesting, right? But as far as a large company like AMC, I don't think it's happening, but I can't say it's not. You know what I'm saying? We're all in trouble. Fuck. So here's the part where I fucking John Wick hit a nerve somewhere. He just went like this. The motherfuckers got me talking about ghosts and fucking Taiwanese and all this shit. So now I strike the nerve, and here it comes. He's like, fuck, I fucked up so many times. I better find out if this fucking asshole is recording me or not. So let's take you to that real quick.
Or deny that.
I have a question for you, actually. Is this an interview?
Yeah.
Okay, I do not consent to this information being shared. This information is for your educational purposes only.
Okay.
If you're looking to educate yourself on securities information, there are great classes you can take. The Fidelity website offers a lot of resources. I'm not authorized to speak on behalf of Fidelity or its views on these things.
Okay, then I guess I got the wrong agent.
And there you have it, folks. Johnwicksnipin. I've been trying to tell you guys what I can do. Just gotta let me unleash me. But in order to unleash me, I'm sorry, you gotta sub. My voice has to reach out. You might as well sick me on everybody for now until Mr. It's happening today, this is over, this is over. And it happens. And then guess what? I don't have to fucking go to Citadel. I don't have to go to Robinhood. I don't have to fucking interview webull. I don't have to, whoever the fuck else you guys want me to interview, I'll do it. Let me get at them. Let me get at them. So that's it. That's all I have for you. I'm gonna react to the other one. Obviously not tonight. I'll maybe I'll do that one for tomorrow. I just wanted to bring some humor, whatever. There's nothing going on. I know it's Saturday. I know that we're lower points that we've ever seen, but I feel good. I feel good that it's gonna happen, guys, and we'll be cool. I don't know how rich we're gonna be. I don't know how high it is. I'm not the type of guy that just sets these high expectations. That way I just fucking crash so hard. Do I want it to be $1 million a share? Of course. I wish that it wouldn't even take the time. I wish that I'd wake up at 4:30 in the morning one day in pre-market and it just says a fucking $1 million. And like they shut it down and they're just paying everybody $1 million a share. So I do wish that, but I'm not gonna set that kind of expectation. Others can do that. You have the right to do whatever you want, sell when you want. That's your choices. That's the name of the game. Like every single day, somebody's buying a stock and choosing a price to sell at and probably missing it and selling it too early, or then when they're losing, they're not selling it fast enough and they keep losing money. Like this happens all day long. That's how the stock market runs. So you'll choose whatever fucking price you're comfortable with. We'll see. Let's see what the numbers say. Let's see how the price movement is going. And we'll all have to consider that. Some people may have to be out in the early hundreds. Who knows? It's everybody's choice. So thank you guys for watching this. And like I said, I'll be doing another reaction to the TD Ameritrade call. And I'll add some humor or whatever until Monday and Tuesday next week, where I'll get into interviewing other people. So Johnwicksnipin is out.